This film has a real dreamlike quality, and it touches on so many different themes that I think are a part of everyone's lives, and then also some themes that are specific to people who've had a particular kind of experience. The universal themes that really struck me, first of all, included the mother-daughter relationship. And all of us are former children, and we've all had mothers of various types. And I think this film really touches on the intensity of that relationship, the expectations that are placed on mothers, and how it feels if we as daughters or sons as well discover that our mother has not been able to live up to even some of those most basic expectations. So it really touches on a whole lot of issues and some real tensions around that mother-daughter or mother-child relationship more broadly. This film operates on so many different levels, and it has such deep, rich issues in it. And one certainly has to do with confronting pain, particularly pain that happened a long time ago but is still very present in your life today. And along with confronting that pain, what I saw in this film was a real deep desire to have someone else recognize that pain, acknowledge that it's real. There's a photographer in the film who I found to play a very interesting role, and I'm not sure what Sayer Frey, the filmmaker, really had in mind with that, but I know what I took away from it. And it really was the importance of having one's experience validated by someone else being able to see it and see the vulnerability within you. So that was a very strong and beautifully depicted theme for me. This film is all about memory, and then all about integrating those memories into the here and now. And I think in a very dreamlike way, the film really captures that essence of memory. Very strong visual images, and a few that really struck me. The mother looking in the mirror, even as she's out in the middle of this cornfield, and looking over and over again. And I noticed that more the second time I watched the film than I did the first time, but it really struck me as very symbolic of that mother's sort of absorption in her own needs and her own being, probably for some very good reasons, but that was a very strong image. The image of the child, the memory of this young woman, Edie, when she was a child and so vulnerable and so unprotected. Very striking image of this white bird-like character. Just a very strong thing that really stayed with me after the film and left me kind of mulling it over. I'm not sure I even fully understood, where that particular symbolism came from, but I know that it really struck something very deep within me without my being able to put words on it. And I think that's the power of film. You can read a book, that's one thing, and I read books all the time, but this film really is just so strong in the visual images it presents, even just the setting, the context, this cornfield. You just kind of feel yourself being there in the hot sun, and Edie lying in the dirt and moving these little flowers and so on. It's just a very visceral kind of image, and that was the way I found myself responding to it. I think also the theme of abuse or neglect in particular comes through very strongly, and not everyone will have experienced that in his or her own life, but we all know someone who has, and we've all seen how that legacy of pain from childhood carries forward as a person goes on and builds relationships as an adult. And I found this film to really speak very powerfully to kind of the lifelong challenge of trying to integrate yourself. That's a term that's very central in psychology, which is my discipline. And so the idea of finding those different parts of yourself, the vulnerable child, the caretaker or caregiver, the strong, collected kind of individual who can go off and meet life's challenges. And that whole journey of really being able to look back and move forward came through very strongly in this film for me. And that's a journey that I think many of us have experienced, and certainly everyone knows people who are on that journey, and just how poignant that can be.